now earlier I mentioned that we could have clusters with multiple nodes. What would that look like? So little example, I have another KinD configuration file here, and that one is a little bit like, I like to call these examples like the Christmas trees, because there are lots of bells and whistles everywhere, lots of options there. So what do we have in this KinD configuration? Well, first we have multiple nodes. Instead of just having a one node cluster and that's it, now I have a control plane node and I have 3 worker nodes. So when you're testing, like how are my pods going to load balance between the nodes? What if I'm using a daemon set, a node selector, some affinity constraints, like advanced scheduling stuff? This is great to do some tests around that. And the other thing is that this is mapping a bunch of ports. See, like port 12301 to 12309. As you can see, that particular thing, extra port mappings, doesn't let us give a range, so we have to do this kind of very verbose enumeration here. However, in that other part here, we can specify a range. And I was saying this is a Christmas tree, and because this is going to kind of tie into what I was mentioning at the beginning of my presentation when I was explaining that KinD is leveraging kubeadm. Here I'm passing a kubeadm configuration patch, so that little snippet of configuration that you see here is the same kind of snippet that I would use if I were deploying with kubeadm or with any of the systems that rely on kubeadm. I think Typhoon is one of them. I don't remember if Keops is using kubeadm, but there are many other installers out there using kubeadm. So learning how kubeadm works turns out to be a good investment if you ever have to work with any of these systems. And so here, for instance, I can do, let's see, KinD create cluster with that configuration file, and I'm going to call it like super KinD, and let's see what happens. Let's see if both clusters can start and run side by side. That's going to take a tiny little bit longer, of course, to get all these nodes up and running, but barely. And by the way, this is the kind of demo where it helps to either be on Linux or to bump up the memory and CPU of your Docker VM, because of course now we are not running just one Kubernetes node, but 4, so that obviously needs more resources since that's still running in Docker containers. Like if we take a look, as soon as this is done, and that feels slow when we're doing a live demo, but if we think about the fact that this is setting up a 4 nodes Kubernetes cluster, the fact that the cluster is going to be ready in a couple of minutes, it's pretty amazing, I think. If it works, of course. And if we take a look, for instance, at the Docker containers that we have, you can see that we still have like our first 1 node cluster, and now these are the 4 nodes of that new cluster, basically. There we go. So the cluster is now deployed. Let's see if it's ready. Almost, yeah. 2. So now you can see I have 4 nodes. 2 of them are ready. And yep, now all the nodes are ready.